Good morning, Geekdom. It is me, the artist at MC, and it's a new book day. It's Wednesday, new comic book day, and apparently there is some new comic book news that is going to be all over the place, spreading like wildfire, whipping up the geeks about some things that Anthony Mackie has said about Captain America and what he was thinking in this interview that America meant, or Captain America is me. So before we get into that, like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. This will be a quick hit and run because I am driving to work. But I just wanted to get the black voice out there on this before things got real far afield. So apparently I heard from some other sources. I didn't read this article or see this interview myself yet. It was late when I heard about it. But Anthony Mackie was doing a press interview, obviously, for Captain America 4, Brave New World. And the question was asked to him about what, Captain America means. And in the answer that he gave, which he seems like he was, stumbling a bit, right, with what he was saying, because I've seen Anthony Mackie talk. Excuse me. It didn't sound like a real congealed thought that he was having. Now, a lot of question is just so, because you have two competing thoughts. You have the one thought in your head, which you know what you think, and you're ready to spit that, right? But then the other one is, what shouldn't I say, and what should I say based on what these people off the stage or whatever want me to say or not say. And in some situations, that can make you, a really articulate person sound like a complete dumbass because the answer that they give is just meandering and a lot of, word salad. A lot of word salad thrown in the mix about what you're actually doing and what you really want to say, right? And slow down highway patrol. So I think that's part of what was happening right there. I understand. I kind of try to see the point that he was trying to get to. It was pretty murky, but this is the thing that people do sometimes, especially actors do. They don't speak in complete sentences or thoughts, right? I'm guilty of doing this shit too. They'll start talking about one thing and think it's the answer, and then they flip to trying to give you an explanation of their answer and lose the point completely because they divert too many times on the path to getting to what the hell is the answer. What are you saying? Right? And I think that's what he was doing. That's why it seems like a stumbling, bumbling, meandering answer he was given because there's a lot of ideas, it seems, coming together for him all at the same time and trying to phrase it in the exact right way because of, look, the movie already getting heat. I mean, I know it, Anthony Mackie got to know it too, but look, people, there's a large contingent of people who are not giving a damn about this movie. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see Black Captain America, Black African America, whatever the shit they want to say, even though none of that is on the title. It just says Captain America. And they really have a problem with him being Captain America. Yeah, it happened in a comic for a year and a day. Okay? Wasn't that big of a deal. But the same thing that happened in the comic is the same thing that's happening in the real world, where people is losing their shit because the white boy Steve Rogers gave the shield to him and not to Bucky. So what? So Anthony Mackie basically, stepped on a landmine in this situation, and now he's given the new media, something to run with, a piece of red meat to run with, to really hate him, because you can understand beforehand they really had nothing bad to say about Anthony Mackie. They really didn't. That's why they were just attacking the movie and attacking that Steve Rogers is the only Captain America. Obviously, he's not, because you can name in the comic books how many other people have been Captain America, right? But yet and still, there's only one Captain America, and it's Steve Rogers. Okay, all right, whatever, Clark. He's the original, sort of. If you, throw away Isaiah Bradley, red, white, and black, black dude that they gave that shield shit to first before they tried that shit out on, Cap, on Steve, figure out that it could probably work. But that's where it is, and that's where the iron lies, that it wasn't Chris Evans, Steve Rogers being Captain America, and then we didn't get Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier being Captain America, not even for a hot minute. Okay. Yeah, you can be pissed about that shit. Yeah, the succession is screwed up. Fine. I didn't hear all that complaining and shit like that when they made Captain Marvel. Excuse me, I'm forgetting her name. And skipped over Monica Rambeau as being the first female Captain Marvel. I didn't hear no complaint about that shit at all. I heard Captain Marvel, lame Carol Danvers was as a character. Yeah, she was. Didn't hate the character, but yeah, she was kind of lame. But I didn't hear the same complaint about there's only one Captain Marvel, and it's always been Monica Rambeau. I didn't hear that shit. So, for me, a little bit, shut the fuck up about being upset about that shit right now. This stuff is not part and parcel of the comics. We all know that. We're all intelligent enough people, old enough geeks to know that, to not keep going back and forth on this dumbass point. We quibbling. We are just quibbling right now. We are finding things to hate. And Anthony Mackie in his interview, by saying that he didn't believe that Captain America stood for America, just smacked the hornet's nest. Because now they have a reason to actually go after him. Plain and simple. Now they have a reason to go after him. They didn't have a reason before. He hadn't said anything dumb. He hadn't. They liked him, right? They liked Falcon. They were fine with him. But this report now, oh shit. He didn't need that. He did not. That movie did not need that heat, boy. It was already cooking on a slow boil to boil it over. It was good. It was good and roasting just fine. You just, excuse me, just gasoline on the coals. Holy shit. So I heard a couple people going off about it, and one of them did actually really an impassioned idea of what Captain America in the comic books and that character meant to her. And I agree. That was a really good one, right? I agree with some points, but it was really thought out, and it was really coming from a perspective of somebody who was, excuse me, family immigrated here legally. And set roots here for the ideal of what America is, and as she put it, the ideal and not the politics, which is what I've always said, which I agree with. Captain America as a character is supposed to be the American ideals, in which I can agree with her. Shout out to Snarky Jack, right? It's not about the politics of the situation. And what can be taken out of what Anthony Mackie said is the political fever in the world, in the culture right now, as opposed to what the character actually stands for. Now, look, I like Steve Rogers in comic books. I do. I like Captain America in comic books. If you've read the comic books, you know Steve Rogers will regularly go up against the government. If they is out of step and out of line with what he feels the values are, they going too far afield, Cap will go rogue. He will go rogue in a minute. Right? That's not what it is. Because he has those ideals and that integrity. Right? He don't believe in doing some of this shit. Which is fine. Right? I think, what was it, the start of Civil War? First Civil War book? When he took on everybody in the Triskelion? Like, no, you gonna do it, Cap, because we said so. He's like, I don't think so, sir. And fought everybody, all the shield agents on the Triskelion and jumped out that bitch. Look, Steve Rogers' Cap, stands on his square, with the A on his head or not. But I understand how in comic books, one of the things I hate about comic books is that people always feed their political agendas into it. So there was a point in time in comic books where they didn't like the president we had. At the time, I think it was George W. Walker Bush at the time, right? Well, what did they do in comic books? They killed Captain America off. They killed him. Somebody shot him. He was dead for a while. Why? Because they were trying to give to the audience who has been really raised to be un-American, and in the idea that they're trying to be, globalists and understand people from other countries and how they don't see America as a good thing right now, they killed Captain America off. They did. They flat out killed him off. Some bullshit. But that was always the sentiment of the people who are in control of this shit about how they see the character and how they try to play nice or make their political points when they don't agree with the government. Because when they do agree with the government, you get shit like Spider-Man meeting Obama and shit. Like, that's necessary. So you have to understand sometimes these people, put their foot in it more than once, because comic books can be used as a form of propaganda. And apparently people who had a political opinions always want to try to feed that in there a little bit. They always do. So this movie ain't gonna be no different. You ain't had these many, reshoots because it's just hitting on all cylinders. Some shit people don't want to hear. And what Anthony Mackie said, look, man, why'd you say that? Oh my God, bro. Just say next question. I don't know if you can do that, but to say that it's not about what America thinks politically, no. But the ideals that have people sneaking across the board and stuff like that, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, but I'm behind that. There is. So if me as an American of the chocolate hue can actually sit here and tell you that, yeah, the bedrock principles of America I'm totally with, some of the shit America has done. I'm not. Ask a Native American, ask an Asian American, ask some Black Americans. They'll tell you some ills. That's all part of America too. When we look at that character of Captain America, what do we think he's standing for? All of that shit, or the principled ideas? And this is the part where you can't have a nuanced conversation about that shit. You have to be very specific in what you're talking about when it comes down to that character of Captain America and what he actually stands for. He stands for the wholesome ideals, not the shadow side of dirty shit. That's all that, not just in the comics, but in the movies as well. He was part and parcel of that shit. So, where I think Anthony Mackie may have stepped in it, for a while. And me, I'm willing to chuck it up, not because I think Captain America 4 is going to be an awesome goddamn, not because Anthony Mackie is black. But even still, even if I did do that, look, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. He ain't said a bunch of dumb shit, okay? He hasn't been one of the ones out there just saying a bunch of dumb stuff, whipping up the fan base to really hate him in the movie and really not want to see it because he said something stupid. That had not been the case for over a year or two. That hasn't been the case. They've been hating the movie from the minute that Steve Rogers at Endgame old ass sat there and handed the shield off to him. That's been an issue. People have had an issue with that since then. Like, oh, fuck. Well, why not? He been there for what? How many movies? Fighting right next to Steve. In Winter Soldier, when they tore down S.H.I.E.L.D., and they was on the lam and they was looking for people, who was there with them? Falcon. So in that time, his homeboy Bucky missing, had to be put over on Wakanda later on so they could try to get his goddamn head right and deprogram him from all the hate America and everything else programming he had in him. Falcon was still there by his side. Still. So because he got a new costume and got a new title, it's God damn, y'all got a lot of that than just this idea. I mean, can we not say he's an American? He is an American, right? Okay. He's a soldier too. Huh. Okay, so what's the problem? I'm still not seeing the problem yet. No serum? Oh, well, that could be an issue, I guess. They didn't stop him from fighting anything else he was out there doing. Remember in the Endgame, he was taking down one of them Goliaths with no serum and just wings. The vibranium ones. So, you don't want no black dude doing it. Because you can shit on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show all day long. You can. It's easy to shit on anything. Look, Jesus Christ came down here and was talking nice, and they still crucified his ass. Still, so you can talk shit about anything you want to, totally denying the positives and all that shit. But if you watched that show, you would have saw that Isaiah Bradley was in that show, and part of Falcon's coming to terms with picking up that shield and really believing that he really should be carrying that shit was understanding how they had used that serum and how they had used them black soldiers beforehand, used them, tested that untested serum on their ass, gave this dude powers, and then put his ass in jail. And what does he stand for as Captain America in this day and age, knowing what he knows. Because you have to remember, Steve was in World War II, and then he took a little cold snap for a while. So he don't know a lot of shit that happened. He had to catch up. His ideals are different. Anthony Mackie's or Falcon, Sam Wilson's, isn't. Hold on one second. Okay. So I'm willing to have the conversation or watch the movie that deals with a different Captain America, which you would do if it was Bucky, dealing with the world as it is now, which you would do if it was Bucky, and try to stand up for these American ideals in the superhero community, knowing how the world is at that time, as you would have to do with Bucky. So I don't, like I said, I really don't see the damn problem. You can get a whole nother movie with Bucky in it after this one. You good. Shut the fuck up. 2 cars back, and you mad about one person not turning. So I don't know, man. I'm not joining in on the fervor of let's shit on Captain America 4 is gonna be crap. It might be crap. It wouldn't surprise me out of what Marvel's been doing lately. But I'm not focused on the damn crap. I just need when I do my accounting, when I put the movie on the scale, I just need more good points than bad points. That's it. I need more pearls and less crap. And as long as my scale tip in the direction that there are more pearls than shit, I'm happy. Because it's not going to be a perfect movie. It's not. Even Endgame wasn't a perfect movie. And they can't get past the ghost of Endgame. They can't. Only way they can do with Endgame is bring the Russos back and try to give you another one with the Secret War shit. But like I've been saying forever, they only need that for the board wipe. That's all it's for. They only need that for the board wipe. It's a perfect way to wrap up all this shit and start fresh. Because they wrote, typed, chat GPT themselves into a goddamn corner that the fan base is not going to let them get out of easily. They're not. So they got to do what they got to do. So Anthony Mackie, I'm sorry, bro, you need to clean that up a little bit. I don't know if you can, but yeah, just understand they're gonna be eating your ass for the next 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, because they want this movie to go down in flames because they don't want you being Captain America. But like it or not, he is Captain America right now. And just to set it clearly for y'all, so I can get out of here and get to work. The leader of the Avengers is always Captain America. Okay? So don't be upset about that shit if that's what happens. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. And I will see you next time. There's a geek to speak.